We are going to talk about multiplying two-digit numbers or three-digit or even four-digit numbers by two-digit numbers today. So here we are going to be looking at multiply 34 by 15. So the first thing we're going to think about when we take a look at this is we are going to think about 34 times 5. So that's what we're going to focus on first. So when we're doing 34 times 15, we're going to multiply 34 by 5 and by 10 because there's 1 in the tens place in 15. So let's just begin with 34 times 5. And that is going to equal 170. So now we've done 34 times 5. And this time we're going to focus on 34 times that 1, which the value of that 1 is actually a 10. So here we already have our 170 from the first time, right? 34 times 5 is 170. Now we're going to do 34 times 10, and that is going to equal 340. And we're just going to put it right underneath the 170 that we already did. So at this point, we've done 34 times 5, and we've gotten 170. We've done 34 times 10, and we've gotten 340. And so now, here they are again. So now all that's left to do is to go ahead and put these two things together. 170 plus 340 is 510. So rather than looking at this as just 34 times 15 all at once, we broke up the 15 and we said, well, why don't we multiply it by 5 and by 10, and then we can just put those two answers together. And that is what we did. Let's try another one. So here we're going to be taking a look at 64 times 27. So again, this time we've got our 64 and we've got 27. Sometimes it can be a little overwhelming to look at those two-digit numbers. So let's take a closer look at 27. And let's just say, why don't we try 64 first times just 7? So again, we're going to be focusing on 64 times just that 7. Okay, and 64 times 7 is 448. Now over here, I'm showing you that's what we did, just in case you have trouble remembering where we got that 448. Now on the side over here, you remember, oh, that's right, we did 64 times 7. So if we already took care of the 7 in 27, now it's time to go ahead and we have to multiply the 64 times that 2, but that 2 is not just any old 2, it's in the tens place. So the value of it is 20. So we're going to do 64 times 20 now, and that's going to give us 1,280. Now, if you were a little uncomfortable with doing 64 times 20 all at once, couldn't you have thought of 20 as 2 times 10? And you could have done 64 times 2 first, and then taken that answer and multiplied it by 10. Or you could have said, I know 64 times 10 is 640, and then I just have to go ahead and multiply 640 times 2. So you went ahead and broke up that 20 into 2 times 10. And you could have done that in 2 steps if that would have been helpful for you. I went ahead and did it in 1 step. And then again, we have our 448 from our 64 times 7. And then we have our 1,280 with our 64 times 20. So now we have to put those together to get our final answer, and it's 1,728. So when you're dealing with multiplying by a double-digit number, it's easiest to multiply by each place, the value of each place, rather than trying to go ahead and look at it as all one problem. We will practice some more of these tomorrow. If you were a little confused, go ahead and watch this video again and see if it helps, and let me know if you have any questions.